You want to make more sales? One thing above all else will make the difference. Start telling the truth. Yeah, you. Time to start telling the truth. All right. Jim Padilla here. Welcome to Edge Sales Power Play. This week's edition, how to say the things that need to be said during the sales conversation, right? Be a truth teller and a challenger. I've been selling my whole life, building world-class winning sales teams in business and in life for over 30 years. And no better factor, no more important factor in growing your sales, growing your business, besides telling the truth. You think you're already telling the truth. I know. Jim Padilla here with Gain the Edge here again. Welcome to this. I'm going to take the next 25 minutes here and make a case for you and demonstrate to you why this matters more than anything else. And now everything else that you're doing in your sales process, in your sales conversation, in the growth of your business strategy, it matters nowhere near as much as telling the truth, being able to be truthful. I'm going to share with you what the heck that's about, because I know right now you're already saying, whatever, I tell the truth. I'm honest. I get it. Okay, raise your hand. Go ahead, type it in the chat. Are you a truth teller? Okay, go for it. Go ahead. You can argue with me all you want. Okay, but I'm just going to make a quick case. We're going to run through this, and you will understand the difference, the layers, degree, and nuance that are involved in truth telling. All right, be open to it, and it'll be a game changer for you. So let's dive in. Okay. Is truth something you can tell and turn on and off? Is it a switch? Did you just, yes, I'm telling the truth, or no, I'm not? Is the truth switch just flip and all of a sudden you can tell the truth and not? There's more nuance to that. Okay, let me show you. Okay. In the Bible, even in scripture, it's truth. We are designed and wired for the truth. You know, the truth is one of the few things that you can know in a person without knowing the person. You always get a chance to really understand what is truth and why does it matter and what is it about. Okay? You can tell when someone's telling you the truth. You might not know that they're lying, but you'll know something's off. You'll know that something just doesn't fit. Okay? Proverbs 23:23, buy the truth and do not sell it. Wisdom and instruction and insight as well, meaning buy the truth, do not sell it. Buy wisdom, instruction, and insight also means don't just buy the truth. There are components, there are degrees, there are things that allow truth to become more real. When you apply wisdom, instruction, and insight, it gives you discernment, helps you know what's true and what's partially true, whether it's a little bit true or a lot true. There's a whole lot to this. I know you're probably thinking, well, truth is absolute. I'm going to show you a different case, right? Truth is a spectrum. Okay, if you tell too much truth, then you have no sensitivity, right? No understanding, no cushion, no empathy, no connection. Too much truth is just boom, let me just laser it and blow you off, blow you away. Too little truth, and you have no grounding, no direction, no results, no awareness, and no reality. Neither one of those are good. You can't be one end or the other. And you've seen it on both sides. If you have too little truth, you're afraid to tell people what really matters because you want to be liked. You want their approval. You want them to be affirming of you. And so you will pull back the areas of truth because you're more concerned about hurting their feelings or burning the relationship or whatever that might be. So then you hold off and you don't tell them the truth. So there's very little certainty in your message. There's nothing that comes through that says, I got you. I know how to make a difference for you. And what you're doing is not going to work because I love you. I can tell you this. Okay. You will tend to get far less results than anything else you will do because you are not holding certainty. You tend to lack awareness if you're not going to tell the truth because you're not speaking into the whole situation and the context and the second, third, and fourth order consequences of not delivering the truth about the current circumstance that people are in. And very, very little deal with reality. If you are not willing to tell the truth, then you are not dealing in reality. The opposite side of this is also true. Okay, again, there's another place to go here. Too much, and you're just rude and you're harsh if you're not sensitive, you're not caring, you're not understanding. There's a reason why some people don't, why we all actually hold back some truth at times, because we just don't want to offend people. We don't want to hurt them and stuff, instead of really understanding that they have ownership over whether they get offended or not, right? Offense is not something you can do to somebody. Offense is something that people can only receive. I can say whatever I can say. I can do whatever I can do. You choose if it offends you. I choose to not be offended. I don't let other people get control of me, right? And you have to have that same level and give other people credit for the same. Okay? No cushion, no empathy, no connection. Those are things that happen when you just drill into the truth. All right? Come on, come on. Tell me what you've done it. We all know, right? So what I'm trying to share here is that truth is a spectrum. It's not an on or off switch. It's not a yes or no. It's not you're telling the truth or you're not. It's how much truth are you telling? How much truth? On one end of the spectrum, too little. On the other end of the spectrum, too much. And there is a sweet spot in between. And we really need to be able to master that. The more you can master living into the zone of truth and recognition, the more you're going to win in every environment that you're in. And more importantly, you're going to help other people win, which, well, that's the definition. It should be a good definition of how you win. It's something that one of the things that I learned growing up as a kid, I had to overcome so much situation, life or death, a challenge, and I had to learn, right, how to manage the environment. I had to learn what was necessary to say, what was not, and what was going to get people to move, what was going to get people to understand. And there's a lot. There's this huge spectrum along the way that you start recognizing where's the sweet spot of telling the truth that gets you right in the place of impact and results and connection and leadership and ownership. And you start driving, you start understanding that truth becomes the thing, the secret element of all of the other things you learn in leadership, influence, persuasion, sales, and everything that goes with it. All right, am I tracking? Are you with me? Do you feel this? Okay. Here's the other piece that I want to add into this: truth in grace, truth and love. Okay. Grace is unmerited favor. Grace is when I give you something you have not earned. Again, as a Christian, right? Christ died for our sins. We didn't have to go earn it. He came down and said, I give it to you even though you don't deserve it. I die for you so that you can be in right relationship with God. That's what happened there. And you want to be thinking about grace all the time. Give people grace far before that they deserve it. People don't need to earn grace. Grace should be something that comes out of you. Be compassionate, be understanding. Do not be a doormat. Okay, again, it's a spectrum. Okay, it is a spectrum just like truth. When you have too little grace, bad things happen because you allow everything to occur, right? Bad things happen when you have too little. You don't apply. Actually, I believe I just switched my metaphors here, right? When you have, it's the opposite. Let me show this around. Okay. When you have too much grace is when bad things happen. And too little, no, hold on. Okay. I'm right. Hold on. It's all good. Guess what? Confused myself. Here's the key. When you pull back on grace, then the direction of your energy can come on a little bit scattered. When you put too much grace in, then you allow people to do everything. When you have too much grace, nothing happens because you don't hold people accountable. You're not showing up in the truth. Grace accompanies, right? There's an intersection between grace and truth that I'm going to share with you in a second. And it all comes down to how you show up for people, how you show up, what are the conversations that you have with people? What are the conversations you have with yourself around grace, around truth? How much grace do you allow yourself? Do you apply too much? Right? When you apply too much grace, you give everybody nothing but freedom to do everything that they want. When you have too little grace, right, then you struggle. When you have too little grace with people, then you're harsh. You're making things occur, and people will react to you instead of respond to you. All right. So where have you been applying too little grace? Where have you been not graceful enough? Where have you been too graceful? Where have you been too graceful in your family and with your clients? When, here's where it comes, like in a sales conversation, and that's kind of the essence of what we were talking about here. But we're talking about growing business. We're talking about influencing markets, influencing people, influencing teams. Truth is a factor in all of that. The more truth you will tell, the more magnetic you will become. Period. I don't say everything in a favorable light that people love. I have some very, very, I have some very staunch opinions, especially about growth and people dynamics, because I've been building teams in sports teams and in business for my whole life. So I've learned what it takes to get people to win and how many ways that you can lose and all the different things you see. And the study in human dynamics is incredible. And the one thing that I notice across the board here, all the stuff that we're sharing with you over and over here, is what makes all of that go. That's why we shared with you from this perspective, because we're not telling you what we think happens. We're sharing with what we've observed while we're growing our business and moving in our life. Hey, if you are liking what you hear and seeing, hit this button or this button or any of these buttons, one that looks like it. But make sure you hit a button so we can keep bringing great stuff. So I want you to think for a moment and type in the chat what's coming up for you. Where do you feel like you tell the truth? And just so far, I still have some things I'm going to challenge you on here, but where do you feel like you could tell a better truth? Where can you tell more truth? Where do you feel like you're holding back? Where do you feel like you've allowed people a pretty wide berth? And the truth, I got news for you. I'm not a big fan of your truth, my truth. There's the truth. And then there's your relationship to the truth. When we can agree on what's true, then then from there we decide what is our relationship with what's true and how does it apply to me, to you. When we start saying everything's true, then guess what? We allow all kinds of things to happen, because now we're just given unmerited, unlimited grace to everybody and everything. Right? We want to make sure that it makes sense and that there's context and it's got directional force to it. Okay, here's just a simple example. Okay, truth. We'll call truth this horizontal axis, and grace the vertical axis. Again, too little, too much. Right in the middle is what you want here. This is in this sweet spot. This is where life happens. This is where great things occur for people. This is where lives change. This is where you are in the zone of telling the truth, but not going too strong and too hard, because the mission of truth is not to blow people up. It's to enlighten them. And some people just take longer to buy into things, and you just keep watering them, seasoning with the truth. You don't have to punch them straight in the face with the truth and say, ha, boom, guess what? Here it is. You need to pull it out of them. You need to show it to them, right? You pull it out and have a reflection on a mirror for what this can look like. And I have, quite honestly, there's an example of, for me, that I had happen when I was a kid and I was growing up. That was, let me share that in a second. I had, I was in an abusive environment. That was very tough, challenged environment. And there were my parents and counselors and people I had to go to while I was in foster care, and nobody was interested in my opinion. They were always very interested in telling me what I was supposed to be thinking, how I was supposed to be acting. And they didn't really care about my opinion. They were like, why aren't you being a better kid? Why aren't you listening to your mother? Nobody was concerned about asking me why was I, was I okay with being beaten severely all the time and being called a lot of things that were just unkind, instead of parented a little differently. And again, it is what it is. I'm grateful for everything that happened to me. That is who I am today, by the man who's overcome all of this and being able to use it to my advantage, because it was a great gift that God gave me. But the point I'm making here is that nobody was interested in asking me or sharing the possibilities of what is. And they were just lasering me with their truth as hard as possible with very little grace. And I met a man, my friend Jonathan Peschke. His dad was a priest, and he wanted me to talk to his dad. He's like, look, you just need to talk to my dad. He kept saying it. And so I said, okay, let's go talk. And his dad sat me down in his office, and we talked. He asked me questions. He listened. He didn't make any statements. He didn't tell me anything. He helped me discover the truth. And he just asked me questions. And then every time this is the best visual I can give, is every time I answered something, he took it, put it up on the wall. And then we talk about it. And then he asked me another question. I'd give him an answer and he put that up on the wall. And then we talk about it. And then we had a 3-hour conversation. And I was about an hour into this conversation. I was like, wait a second, man, is this some kind of trick? How come you're not telling me what's wrong with me? I mean, you're not telling me, ask me why I'm a punk and why am I not listening? And that's my job. My job is to show you the truth and then help you make some decisions in your own best interest. I have taken that from 13 years old. I have taken that for 40 years plus. And this is a driving staple in my life, in my business, in my sales process, in my everything that I do in relationship, persuasion, and influence. My job is to pull the truth from you and help you see it and help you make a great decision in your own best interest, whatever that may deliver. And I have an incredible example here of what the truth is. I want to make sure I got audio on this sucker for you. Yes, I do. Okay. And I want to show you one that I came across that I thought was amazing.
Your children, the ones that I did not create, they're allowed to do what you do. They sleep all day. They don't come out of the room. They don't do what they need to do.
Wait a minute, hold up. I want you to come over here. I want you to watch this. Let me show you something. Go sit over there. I have a little concern because your sons are not demonstrating that they are learning to be the kind of man I know you want them to be. They're going to demonstrate the kind of man you teach them to be. And I'm not really sure what to do about that. Can you hear me? Mm-hmm. That's how you do that.
Fact.
The woman has to talk to her man to get him to move the way she needs him to move. You're not going to get nothing with that.
All right. Was that powerful or what? So a reason I share that, it's a great example of what we've been talking about, right? The woman was complaining. Your kids, the ones that I didn't birth, they're doing this and they're following you. And even if it's true, it sounds like it is true in its exact science, but it's too much truth. It's too direct. There was no grace in it. There was no subtlety in it. There was nothing that was going to address his concerns, enroll him in why it matters. Change. It was just complaining. And let me just hit you with the truth because I'm going to be right. And with I don't know the woman's name, I'm going to find it out, but she showed professionally, here's how it looks. Here's a better way to tell the truth in that situation so that he buys in. You went from him being resistant and angry to him understanding that he's got something on the line, that there are stakes at play that he has got to do something about because there's something bigger going on than what's happening between the two of them. Okay. So let me ask you this question. Take a minute here. Where are you not telling the whole truth? We're going to keep it just to your business right now. I'm not going to address your life, your marriage, your children, and all the other stuff going on in your world, but just in your business. Where are you not telling the whole truth to yourself? And this is where, in the beginning, when I said, are you not telling the truth? Okay, you need to start telling the truth. This is where this starts coming together. What I find is most of the time, you are not willing to tell yourself the truth about how truly amazing you are, about how incredible the solutions you provide are for the right people, about what's at stake for people if you don't help them make a great decision. You can't force people to make decisions, but if you haven't done everything in your power by telling them the exact truth, when you know somebody, if they don't make this decision, they are headed for a cliff. They are headed for a fall. They are headed for some serious danger that's going to be massive game changers for them. And if you just say, well, okay, if you want to wait, you can wait. I'm not talking about, people use the word unattached. I think that's a nonsense answer. You should very much be attached. You just can't make your life and death fall on whether people buy from you, but you should very much be attached. If somebody doesn't buy because it means They're not ready to make the decision that's going to change their life, their marriage, their health, their business, their whatever the thing is that you provide. That should matter to you. And it should matter enough to you to share it with them. Because much like Pastor Peshke showed me on the wall, his whole job was just to hold up a mirror and make sure I saw clearly in the mirror what was going on so that I could then start making some better decisions to take ownership of my life. That's your job. Whether it's in a sales conversation, whether it's creating a lifetime journey or a funnel or a perspective with your team, your job is to show them what's possible here, what's possible if they make this other decision. What can they do differently to make a game-changing decision? How does this pertain to your prospects? How do you communicate with this stuff with your clients differently than your prospects? And how are you communicating differently even more with the marketplace? That's what I'm doing here. I talk to my clients the same way I talk to the marketplace. You are marketplace because you're hearing this, and this is technically free content, right? We're offering it out there, but I ain't holding back. I'm talking to you right now the same way that I talk to our clients who pay us 6 figures and more, because I want you to win. And I'm tired of watching people tiptoe around this stuff. You need to be able to tell yourself the truth, and you need to be able to tell people powerfully and cleanly the truth of what's missing for them if they don't solve this problem. They can still say no, but they need to say no with their eyes wide open. They need to say no with you showing up as the biggest, best, boldest version of yourself, standing on the excellence that you deliver and what your company solves and what happens for you, and showing people what's at stake if they do not. Okay? This just can't continue. You have to be the person that's going to make that go. Right? So where are you not telling the truth? Push pause on this. If you're watching on the recording, tell me, by the way, hashtag if you're watching on the recording or live, and answer at least one spot for each one of those, because you should have at least one place you're not telling yourself the truth, at least one place you're not telling your team the truth, at least one place you're not telling your prospects, clients, marketplace, right? At least something. When you start working on that, you're going to recognize where's a different way. What are the things that I can share differently, more boldly, more impactfully, and be able to empower people to make better decisions because you're giving them the whole truth and holding them accountable to what you know they're capable of. It's up to them what they do with it. But most people aren't operating on the full truth because we're too busy holding it back because we don't want to offend them. We don't want to piss them off. We don't want to burn a bridge. We want to be liked. And I got news for you. Your desire to be liked is costing you the desire to actually deliver results because they are at direct odds with each other. You cannot tell the truth if your mission is to be liked. That's why the whole part of the whole no like and trust myth, that's a video for another day. But you do not need to be liked. I don't care if you like me. I need you to respect me because I'm willing to tell you the truth and hold you accountable to doing something about it. Because guess what's going to happen? As a result, you're going to learn to like yourself and love yourself and trust yourself and ultimately trust me because I'm willing to take you there. And you have to take that and adopt that, apply it to the people that you serve and where. So where is truth? Okay. Where's truth is in a factor for you? Does it actually come into your mind? Do you ever think about it? Or do you just assume, nope, I tell the truth? Again, it's not a yes or no. It's a spectrum. I'm sure you're telling the truth, but how much of the truth are you telling? And how are you tempering it with grace? And are you paying attention to that? Okay. Part of telling the truth is telling it like it is. And that's beginning with your business and the journey you're on. So I'm going to actually invite you to an opportunity that we have that we want to be able to support you with. See, we build high profit plans. We call it the Edge High Profit Plan, where the focus is to help you earn the revenue you desire, drive laser focus on the activities that matter the most when it comes to growing your business fast and smooth, not just herky-jerky and running around and hoping for the best. And the mission here is that you get excited about the business that you love, excited about the business that you started, because as far as I could tell, you got into business to make a difference, to make an impact, that could deliver you freedom in a changed world or changed lives, not to run around, chase leads and sales. And we want to solve that for you. Okay, you need to Edge High Profit Plan, and that's what it does. Okay, we have that coming up. And the whole goal here, guys, this is far better than a strategic plan. It is designed to deliver step-by-step clarity. It guides you through what's coming and what might be coming. as we move through the challenging winter season that we are all embarking on, whether you want to admit it or not. Okay, factoring in into your edge high profit plan, it should factor in where AI might cripple your business, might derail you, might impact you, might uplift you, might leverage you, but it has to be in the business plan. Where does technology, AI, and automation fit in? And building compliance into the journey so that you know where you can say things and not say things, where you keep your team and your marketing and your messaging from getting you sued, and highlighting what else going on with the government and regulations based on where you live and what's going on and what types of transactions you provide. Your Edge high profit plan also includes how to avoid the pitfalls of increased regulation, fines, and taxes so that you don't get sued and so that you don't just fall prey to what's happening in Washington or on Wall Street, that you start setting your own economy. And all of this is by building a plan centered around the truth of where you are, the truth of who you serve, the truth of where you're going, and what's going to be necessary to make it happen. So you can look at it in front of your face on paper every day, know exactly what you need to do to deliver the high profit you need from your Edge high profit plan. So you stand out, because I can tell you this: if you don't have a plan that's going to deliver you the truth, and based on the truth, going into 2025, you will lose, and you've already lost 2025 before it starts. Start telling the truth now. Get yourself an Edge high profit plan. If you're interested, in the chat, just type #Edge plan and we will reach out to you. We're looking for 12 people to do one-on-one. Others, we're going to do in some group formats for you, but either way, you need to get it done and let us help you, because we are here to show you the truth of what's possible for you. Start telling the truth and go make a difference, because you deserve it. And the people out there deserve to have the problem solved that you are the only person can be. There are people out there right now that are praying for the solutions that you deliver, and what you do matters. You deserve to be paid well for it. So as always, thanks so much for being here, and thanks for trusting us to be part of your success team. Well, let's go make a difference. You got this, and we got you. All right. So look, I want to drop into this piece a little bit. That video was legit. When I first saw it, first time I saw it, I was like, ooh, that was powerful. That was really powerful. And everything about it just spoke to truth and love, truth and grace. And I want to challenge you. Don't just look at that. I want you to examine it, pull it apart, and look at how it pertains to you. And you look at every conversation you have in your life. I mean, you can go business, personal, professional, whomever, but we're gonna dive right here specifically around this piece. You need, look, okay, I have this perspective that I call like the pet peeves narrative. A lot of times the things you will find is just all under the hood of the stuff that already is there in your everyday. And usually the things that you need, if you find out that you need to say to people, are things you complain to other people about. My clients will come to us, my colleagues will come, they'll be like, man, if these people would just learn to commit. Well, tell me more about that. Well, they're not ready. They just don't think they're here. They got a problem. They want to keep it. They don't want to solve it. I'm like, why are you telling me, number one? You should be telling them. And what is the problem? What's the consequence? Why does it matter so much if they don't solve this now? And it could be, if you don't solve your problem, like if you don't solve your sales problem, then you're going to be, number one, you're going to be busy chasing sales and leads forever. Number two, you'll be lucky to survive the economy as it's coming, the winter season, the downturn, or whatever you want to call it, because it's very real. If you don't believe that 2008 will pale in comparison to what's about to happen in the next year or two, because of all the mismanagement of essentially the world, I think you are putting your head in the sand, and you need to be ready. And the people that are going to survive this and come out of this on top are the people who have a plan, a strategy, and a way to address this. Now, this is me being truthful with you, saying you must deal with this. You must be prepared. Stop trying to come down and accommodate to people and start telling them the truth of what is, because you may be the only person who will. The likelihood is that you will. And that first starts with you telling yourself. You got to tell yourself, you have to be honest and real with yourself. Look at the person in the mirror and say, you have a duty and a responsibility to take a stand for these people. And taking a stand means it isn't going to always feel good. It isn't always going to work well. It isn't always going to show up shining as a rose. But at the end of the day, you can sleep really good because you know you've done everything in your power to solve for these people and hold them accountable to seeing what is. It works the same way with your team. You have a team that needs to step up and do more, and maybe things are tight. Well, good. Then be honest with them. Let them know, look, we're in a tight space right now. Our business is taking some interesting ebbs and flows, and it means that we don't have a lot of extra surplus. We're running lean margins, so we need everybody here to be laser focused on extra production. What more can you give me? I need more from you because I know you're capable of it. I know that you want to be a hero in this company. I know you want to be significant. I know you want to be a leader, and I want you to be a leader. So let's get your apartment dialed in so that people can come in under you. Like, what is the thing you need to say to people that you can be straight with them and honest with them, inspire them? And again, don't just tell them the right between the eyes truth. Show them there's something more in it for them. There's something at stake, something we're all in this together about. Your prospects, you got to tell them the truth. You have to tell them the truth. Imagine having a conversation like this with somebody. You're talking to someone and you've had a little bit of dialogue and like, look, I don't know, man. I just can't, I don't know if I can invest in this right now. This maybe next year. Okay, well, tell me, Steve, does your wife know about this? Is this a problem that has been occurring in your business for a while? And have you been speaking about it to your wife? Now, this could be one or two ways to go. They can say, yes, I've been talking to my wife. Well, great. Then your wife already knows. Now, I want to challenge you to go back to your wife and tell her you found a solution and you chose not to pursue it. And see how that conversation goes. Because you guys want to go on vacation, because you're saving up for your ski vacation in December. Well, what if you pass on the ski vacation and do something to change his family tree, change the trajectory of your legacy? Skip one season of vacation, one summer of vacation Bible study, one summer, one opportunity. Don't buy a new car this year, whatever the thing is. But here's the key. I'm speaking truth and love. I'm holding what I see as the standard as high as possible. You still have to make your own choice. My job is to present to you all of the options that you're probably not thinking about. Okay. Now, if he says, no, I haven't told my wife, or I haven't told my team, they don't know, I'm one pay period away from letting people go. You need to tell your team what's preventing a man like you, a person like you, a leader like you, from telling your team the truth of what is, circling them up and saying, here's what's at stake. There's a problem. There's a challenge. There's this. And I have a solution, but I passed on the solution because I don't want to invest in it. Can you go tell your team that with honesty? Can you tell your spouse that with honesty? Can you tell your children that? Right? What are you going to do? What are you going to do if you don't do this? And who's going to hold you accountable to doing it? And when are you going to start? Right? These are real questions that I've asked people, that I will commonly ask people. Speaking truth in love. You have to do the same. These are the things you can do with your prospects, with your existing clients. Are your clients not doing the work that you told them? Are they not showing up and doing the work? Are they not showing up early, staying late, and fighting for the microphone to ask questions at every meeting? When my clients aren't asking questions, I'm on them. Like, hey, you guys should be showing up here fighting for it. You should show up with a list of questions and be strangling the microphone to get there first. Because you're in action doing the things that we say, which means you're running up against challenges every single day. You're getting feedback, and we want to bring that feedback here and challenge. Your job is to hold your people accountable to doing the best possible that they are possible to deliver. Your job is to create that environment, which means telling more truth, challenging more, opening up, being more vulnerable. Marketplace, this is what we're doing here. We are sharing this edge power play that we just created a couple of months ago, or I don't know how long ago. It's been recent. We did it because we wanted to give more. We're not interested in hiding this. We're not interested in burying anything. We want to give you the truth of what is exactly what we're seeing. We've been very blessed to generate a lot of freaking revenue for a lot of people. $500 million is a lot of money. Yes, there are people who create that in a day, but most likely they're not people that you know. Most of the people you know haven't generated that. So it just means that we've got some expertise in this area. We know a damn thing or two, and you need to be listening. And you need to be applying the stuff that we're talking about because we're sharing what we know. We're not sharing what we read in a book. You want to challenge people? People respond to challenge. The human animal responds greatly to challenge. And there is nothing more challenging than the truth. That's why the political landscape is so torn up the way it is. There's a lot of people trying to feed a lot of BS, and there's some people that are just telling the truth. There's a lot of people that straight up don't want to hear the truth because it's challenging. The truth is magnetizing. You can share it with love, but clear, and people will respond to it. You can't avoid it. That's how God made us. We are wired for the truth. People tend to be attracted to it, even if they don't like it, even if it makes them feel uncomfortable, just like you. What are you going to do with this now? What are you going to do with what I'm sharing? We're here for you. If you don't have a documented strategic plan to move and win in 2025, I got news for you. You've already lost 2025 to those who do. It's not about having a strategic plan. It's about having a plan designed to deliver absolute step-by-step clarity, making sure you know what's coming and what may be coming in this ever-evolving, fastest business landscape that has been in the history of the world. And it's figuring out, where does AI fit into your business model? How is it going to impact your business? How can it take your business out, and how you should be leveraging it? Making sure that you are compliant in all areas of your business in our ever increasing taxation and high regulation world, so that you can avoid fines and, quite honestly, keep yourself from being sued as you're trying to grow, because one time is all you need to cripple your business. Get yourself the Edge high profit plan. Earn the revenue you desire. Drive laser focus on the activities that matter most to growing your business. Grow your business smooth and fast. Yes, smooth and fast. And for the love of God, be excited about your business once again, because it's not going to strangle you and suffocate you and rob you of your freedom. Type hashtag Edge plan in the comments, and we'll be reaching out to you. Make sure that you get on top of this, because you do not want to miss the boat getting your Edge high profit plan so that you can win with certainty in 2020.